Hey everybody, and welcome back to the March Mood Mindfulness Challenge. My name is Amira and it's lovely to have you. We are in our final week of March. It's day 22 and today we're going to start a whole new set of topics called the 5 love languages, and specifically the 5 self-love languages. Now, if you've been following me this whole month, you'll know that we're talking about mindfulness, about our mood, about our emotions, how the world impacts us, how we behave and impact on the world, and how being mindful is really important to help us control our emotions and the energy in our body and our behavior as well. So in week 1, we talked about the universe. We talked about how the universe provides for us, sustains us in ways that we never ask for, and in much more ways than we could imagine. So we are taken care of by a creator that looks after the universe and looks after us and wants the best for us. And specifically, I said, it's a way of thinking about it. Instead of just thinking we are human beings living on this earth, there's another way to think about it, in that we all have a soul, a spirit that lives within a physical vessel on this physical earth, has a short time to live, however long it's here to experience the journey it is here to experience, and then it returns to where it came from to have another existence. In week 2, we brought it even closer and we looked at how our bodies are made, how specifically we rely on 6 senses to input and understand what's happening in the world around us and to make meaning of what happens around us. So we looked at sight, smell, touch, hearing, and sight, smell, and taste, right? And then we also talked about intuition. And how we get our raw information from our 5 or 6 senses, and we think about them in our mind, we make a meaning out of it, we develop emotions towards it. Our emotions then drive our behavior. Our behavior is output, behavior or non-behavior. What we do or what we don't do results in an outcome, a result, which we then catalog as an experience. We have a memory of that, and then that goes back into our mind, and it's something we refer to later on when something similar or something maybe not so similar comes along, but we think of how that situation went along and we act again according to, or sometimes against, that experience that happened. And that's the evolution of experience and living and learning. In week 3, we looked even deeper now. So we looked into the 6 core needs. We talked about the first 4 needs being certainty and wanting a little bit of uncertainty in our life. We looked at wanting meaning and significance in our life, and we looked at really needing, and the word here is needing, their needs that need to be met more than wants. And needing love and connection as being the needs of the physical body that lives here on this earth, right here, right now. And then further on, the spirit needs those things, plus it needs growth and contribution to evolve on its journey in life. Okay, so today what I'm going to do, what my hope is this whole week, is we're going to bring it even closer to ourselves. And I want to talk about the relationship that you have with yourself, the things you tell yourself, how you feel about yourself, what you do for yourself, what you buy for yourself, what you, the relationship with yourself. And I'm basing this off the book by Dr. Gary Chapman. He talked about the 5 love languages, and if you haven't read the book, it's pretty awesome. And it was a book specifically created for relationships and couples, people who he found that people communicated their love in certain ways, and in a relationship, when one person communicates one way and that's their form of love and expressing love and receiving love, and another person in the relationship receives and communicates love differently, there could be this feeling like they don't love me. However, if you know that your partner communicates in a way that means for them that they love you, then that is just the form that they are able to express their love. That's how they were taught to do it. That's how they were comfortable. They don't know any other way to express love. So it's just a matter of now, once again, always comes down to awareness. This is how you do it. That's great. You bring me daisies, but you know what? I love roses. You just need to be aware of it and then communicate it and then start changing the way you express love and request love so that it matches in your own love language. And it's really interesting. And if you've not done this exercise before, do go ahead and find out what your love language is. How you like to give love can sometimes be different than how you like to receive love. So there are 5 love languages. There is physical touch is a way that you express love or want to receive love. There is acts of service, what you do to show that you are loved and what you want people to do for you to show you that they love you. There's receiving gifts. So a lot of people are gift givers, and that's the way they give love. And there are some people who love to get gifts, and if they don't get a gift, then they've made it mean that that person doesn't love them. There's spending quality time with someone. That's how people show you that they love you. They actually put aside time for you. And there's also the verbal communication, so words of affirmation. So I love you, I love you, I love you means that they love me. If I never hear I love you, that means that they don't love me. So I'm taking this concept one step closer, and I actually started doing this to myself when I became aware of the 5 love languages. I thought, well, I'm not waiting to be told by somebody else that I'm loved. Why don't I just do this for myself so that I give and receive love in all different ways? Because we've got so many different people that we deal with. I thought, well, I just want to learn how to love in every single way and how to receive love in every single way. And then I realized that it's kind of like a thing, that it's just 5 languages of self-love. And I'm like, I'm not so smart. I'm not the only one who decided this. So it's a done thing. So if you Google it, you'll find the 5 self-love languages, which is what I want to bring today. So the first one is words of affirmation. And it's really important here because our thoughts are with us all the time. But it's important to understand that our thoughts are in connection with this physical body. Our thoughts are a connection with this self, and they're different to the presence of the soul or the spirit that comes into your body. So for example, when you're sleeping, you're not thinking, you're dreaming through your soul. When you pass away, the body does not continue to create thoughts. So the body and the mind are connected in one physical, tangible vessel. I'm going to call this body the vessel. The mind is a vessel. It's like if you crack me open, you can see my heart, my mind, every single organ in my body. So they're tangible. Whereas the soul and the way the soul communicates, so dreams, imagination, creativity, all those things, the love, these are all things that are intangible, and they are associated with the energy of the soul. So it's important to know that right here where I sit, there's a soul inside me, and then there's the person that I am. And our soul is the observer that sits and watches what happens. So sometimes I'll find myself extremely quiet, not thinking anything, and just watching a wave, watching birds, watching my cats. I'm in observer mode, and it's almost like I'm being fascinated and being entertained, being just enjoying the moment with nothing going on in my head. Like, I wonder what that cat is doing. Why is that cat rolling? No, there is none of that. So there are times when my soul, my spirit is so at the forefront and everything is quiet. And it's the most wonderful, peaceful place to be, like it's where I want to be with myself. And then sometimes my soul and my spirit is so far back, and I am so in myself, almost like in my ego self, like needing to survive, needing to live, needing to find out what's happening. I don't understand why this is happening. Why did this happen? I should have done this. I should have. And then that's where I realize, whoa, my soul is nowhere here. I'm actually speaking from my physical being, my identity, myself. So in saying all this, I wanted to bring your attention to the fact that your thoughts and what you're thinking every day and what you're wondering and what you're questioning, that is when your self is present. And the important thing is to know that we are not our thoughts. So our soul, that's not our thoughts. So what we're thinking is not us. It's just a product of our mind. It's a product of our memory. It's a product of what we're seeing and hearing. It's a product of what's expected of us, what we expect of ourselves. And the funny thing is you can so control your thoughts. Now you might think you don't control them or you can't control them, but you do. The first step is to be conscious of it. So let me do a little exercise with you, and please do play along with me, because I mean, this is kind of a little bit fun. So let's say in your mind you're thinking, okay, I've got to get up. What am I having for lunch? I wonder what time the kids are coming. How did my friend go at her party last night? This is relevant to your life. You're invested in knowing the answers. So you're keeping yourself busy. You're allowing those thoughts to be here. They're relevant to you, and you kind of want to know the answers. But if I came along and said to you, okay, we're going to have this exercise. I want you to calm yourself down. I want you to clear your mind if you can. I want you to close your eyes. And as I name an object, I'm going to give you 3 objects. And as I name them, I want you to picture them in your mind's eye. Make them color, make them really big, and see the things that I tell you. So, you ready? So close your eyes, put your feet flat on the floor, and I want you to imagine a yellow sunflower. Okay? See it in your mind's eye, see the black center, see the yellow petals, see the green stalk. Great. Now, clear that. Let it go away. See that flower just out of your mind. Now I want you to imagine a waterfall, a beautiful waterfall flowing over a rocky edge, long stream down into a beautiful pool below. See the waterfall, hear the rushing water, see the bubbles at the bottom of the pool. And now let that picture fade away. Black screen. Lastly, I want you to picture a tennis ball. Green, fuzzy, with the white lines. See it nice and big. Your mind can imagine it. And then now I want you to let that go. Let it go black and let go of the tennis ball. And open your eyes. What did you learn from that experience? What did you learn from that exercise? That our mind is very suggestive to what it hears, what it sees. And you can quickly conjure up a picture according to how you know those things. Now, if you've never seen a sunflower before, what would your mind do? It wouldn't be able to see that thing which I said. If you've never seen a tennis ball, you lived in the bush, you lived in the Amazon, never saw a tennis ball, you would just stare at me blankly. So our thoughts are always going over things from our past. Our thoughts are created from the past. And the fact that we repeat the same thoughts, and there's a statistic that says we think 75% of the thoughts we thought of yesterday, we're always thinking of the past. Our thoughts come from memory. And thoughts create feelings. Feelings create an internal state. State creates a need for behavior, so a need to act or not act, if you choose not to act. So I'm gonna go for this driver's license. No, I'm actually not, because I'm scared. Okay, no action. And the result is I go for my driver's test. I don't go for my driver's test. It's been 50 years and I haven't gone for my driver's test. And that's the result. The other thing that you learn from this exercise is that when a thought comes to your mind, you're able to let it go and clear the screen. Which is why a lot of times when you have a life coach will say, clear the screen. Let go of that thought. Just let it be. Don't be so obsessively holding on to it. Let it go. And when you finally realize that you are not controlled by your thoughts, you are not a prisoner of your thoughts, you're actually so free. And you have control over yourself, over your life, over your emotions, over your behavior, and that is freedom. And the key to all this starts with being conscious of your thoughts and consciously thinking the right thoughts. So, for example, most of the time you don't even realize you're breathing, right? You're breathing, otherwise you wouldn't be alive. But then if I said to you, concentrate on your breathing. Are you breathing through your nose? Can you hold your breath for 4 seconds? Can you exhale longer than your inhale was? You will be able to control your breathing. So the whole key is to be conscious of your thoughts. And to start off with, what I said was, we talk to ourselves and create our thoughts. And so that's why today we're talking about the self-love language of verbal communication with yourself. So, how do you speak to yourself? And when we talk about speaking to yourself, someone said it really beautifully, is to speak to yourself like you speak to someone you love. Speak to yourself like you speak to a young child. Speak to yourself like you speak to your beloved pet. Now, I have heard some people at the dog park call their pets some terrible things, and I don't mean talk like that. It's the compassion. It's the love, it's the acceptance. Because at the end of the day, what we want to achieve is a total acceptance of ourselves, a total compassion for ourselves, a total love for ourselves. And it starts with being conscious of what we say to ourselves. What do you say to yourself when you get into your clothes? What do you say to yourself when you see yourself in the mirror? What do you say to yourself when you make a mistake? What do you say to yourself when you get things right? What do you say to yourself when you're frustrated? It's being conscious of what you say to yourself at different stages and catching what you say and flipping it, okay? And totally saying the opposite. So there's a couple of strategies here. The first one is, and this comes to us from Deepak Chopra, he talks about using, when you become aware of, I'm so fat, God, I'm so stupid, however those things, as soon as you become aware of it, okay, so sometimes I'm like, oh, what the hell? So I'm realize that, you know, I'm about to put myself down. How did I make that mistake? And I'm like, oh, I know, I'm not going to say it, okay? So it kind of happened, but it didn't come out. So I'm kind of getting there. Sometimes I don't even think that. I'm like, ah, funny girl. Whatever I do in the moment to stop, 40 years of telling yourself off. It takes some time to undo. The whole thing is just to be light and to be happy with yourself and just to be a bit joyful and to, change it up. You're not going to tell yourself off for telling yourself off. So you're going to be like, oh, I'm not doing that thing anymore. That's right. Yeah, no siree. However it is you want to do it, catching yourself in the process. But sometimes we don't catch ourselves and we say those words. How could I am so, and then you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be not doing that to myself. Okay, so, but the word's been done. So the acronym here is STOP. S stands for stop. As soon as you realize what you're doing, just stop. Okay? T stands for take a few breaths. And you know how changing your breath changes your brain waves, calms you down from that beta, really active physical, to that alpha, more calm, able to be patient. Okay. Take 3 breaths. O stands for observe your body. Observe what's happening. Is your heartbeat racing? Is your pulse racing? Are you... What's happening in your behavior? Observe the sensations in your body. And P stands for proceed with compassion and kindness towards yourself. So, you've said those bad words. You've remembered stop. Okay, didn't mean that, sweetheart. Come on, I apologize. You're so good. You're so good. You've got this. Let's try again. And so it goes. All right, it's never-ending journey of self-development. We got to start somewhere, and you can make it fun. Especially when it's between you and yourself, you can really make it fun. And the whole key here is kindness and compassion. Another way is transmuting, and transmuting is saying the opposite. So if I'm like, get up, you lazy girl, you've been watching Netflix all day. What's the opposite of lazy? So get up, active girl, let's go get 1,000 steps in, right? That's another tip for how to talk to yourself more kindly. Other ways to talk to yourself more kindly is to journal, get those thoughts out, circle the things that you're saying, and do the same thing. Transmute the words into words that are more loving, more kind, more compassionate. How do you talk to yourself? I would love to know. Leave it in the comments below, and I will catch you for the next video.